They were strikingly beautiful, but not with that vapid and empty brand of unformed good looks which wins the Miss World contest. Curiously alike, they had the delicately formed bone structure, the cleanly cut features, and the unmistakable quality of intelligence, which would keep them still beautiful 20 years after the faded Miss Worlds of yesterday had long since given up the unequal competition. The blonde girl smiled at me, a smile at once pert and provocative, but friendly. I gave her my impassive look, and as the trainee plastic surgeon who had worked his will on me hadn't quite succeeded in matching up the two sides of my face, my impassive expression is noticeably lacking in encouragement. But still she smiled at me. The dark girl nudged her companion, who looked away from me, saw the reproving frown, made a face, and stopped smiling. I looked away. We were less than 200 yards from the end of the runway now, and to take my mind off the near certainty of the undercarriage crumpling as soon as it touched the tarmac, I leaned back, closed my eyes, and thought about the two girls. Whatever else I lacked, I reflected, no one could claim that I picked my assistants without regard to some of the more aesthetic aspects of life. Maggie, the dark girl, was 27, and had been with me for over 5 years now. She was clever to just short of the point of being brilliant. She was methodical, painstaking, discreet, reliable, and almost never made a mistake. In our business, there is no such thing as a person who never makes mistakes. More important, Maggie and I were fond of each other and had been for years, an almost essential qualification where a momentary loss of mutual faith and interdependence could have consequences of an unpleasant and permanent nature. But we weren't, so far as I knew, too fond of each other, for that could have been equally disastrous. Belinda, blonde, 22, Parisian, half French, half English, on her first operational assignment, was an almost totally unknown quantity to me. Not an enigma, just unknown as a person. When the Sûreté lend you one of their agents, as they had lent Belinda to me, the accompanying dossier on that agent is so overwhelmingly comprehensive that no relevant fact in that person's background or past is left unmentioned. On a personal basis, all I'd been able to gather so far that she was markedly lacking in that respect, if not unstinted admiration, that the young should accord to their elders and professional superiors, which in this case was myself. But she had about her that air of quietly resourceful competence which more than outweighed any reservation she might hold about her employer. Neither girl had ever been to Holland before, which was one of the main reasons why they were accompanying me there. Apart from which, lovely young girls in our unlovely profession are rarer than fur coats in the Congo, and hence all the more unlikely to attract the attention of the suspicious and the ungodly. The DC-8 touched down. The undercarriage remained in one piece. So I opened my eyes and began to think of matters of more immediate urgency. Duclos. Jimmy Duclos was waiting to meet me at Schiphol Airport, and Jimmy Duclos had something of importance and urgency to convey to me. Too important to send, even though coded, through normal channels of communication. Too urgent to wait even for the services of a diplomatic courier from our embassy in The Hague. The probable content of the message I did not concern myself with. I'd know it in 5 minutes, and I knew it would be what I wanted. Duclos' sources of information were impeccable. The information itself always precise and 100% accurate. Jimmy Duclos never made mistakes. Not, at least, of this nature. The DC-8 was slowing down now, and I could already see the crocodile disembarkation tube angling out from the side of the main building, ready to line up with the plane's exit when it came to a halt. I unfastened my seatbelt, rose, glanced at Maggie and Belinda without expression or recognition, and headed for the exit while the plane was still moving. A manoeuvre frowned upon by the airline authorities, and certainly in this case by other passengers in the plane, whose expressions clearly indicated that they were in the presence of a big-headed and churlish boor who couldn't wait to take his turn along with the rest of long-suffering and queuing mankind.